Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Skinner, and I'm with Interpodia. I'm wanting to chat with everybody today from cheerleading about some of the options for cheerleading clubs in Canada with a new system that we're launching this summer. A little bit of background on Interpodia. We're a company based in North Vancouver that provides sport registration services to a number of different events, federations, and membership organizations across Canada and the United States. Um, we do, in this case with Cheer Canada, we've been getting ready for a provincial and national membership registration system with the ability to integrate with clubs and gyms. And as a Canadian group, we started here in North Vancouver in 2009, focusing on a wide range of different sports with a background in cycling, equestrian, triathlon, running, snowshoe, swimming, just to name a few. So this summer, we're looking to launch CheerReg as a new sport platform focused on cheerleading in Canada. It's the same technologies we use for our existing sport platforms, but it will be dedicated to servicing the cheerleading community. Over the last few months with Cheerleading Canada, we've looked at a membership structure to get some consistency all across membership types, starting with athlete all-star memberships, scholastic memberships, optional recreational or performance dance categories, depending on which province, as well as judging, coaches, and associates. The format of that registration you'll see in a moment in the demo. But what we've been looking at with this membership structure is as a way to start addressing some of the changes that are coming into Canadian sports. So beyond basic reporting requirements and solidifying some standard structure across Canada for reporting data, there's a lot of new needs for de-risking sport and dealing with liability. So some of this comes into waiver capture, looking at an adult waiver versus a parental agreement for a minor, where those waivers are stored, how you do versioning control, and how to handle third-party waivers, say the instance where a club administrator or a coach is registering an athlete on behalf of a parent. On the note of coaching, there's a lot of things coming down for new requirements in all sports in Canada, but we're looking at launching a fairly standardized system for cheerleading in 2019, but there's plenty of options to deal with and embrace new requirements for coaches, including NCCP information checks, background checks, e-learning and development requirements. And then other new initiatives that are coming in to sport on a Canadian level are a lot of safety and respect initiatives, where sometimes for many sports it's going to be respect training needing to be recorded and required for all parties involved. So that can be the athletes, but also their parents, plus volunteers, coaches, officials, everybody who's involved in the sports. What these new requirements are forcing a lot of sports to look at, though, is a new emerging registration process of an athlete-driven membership. So traditionally, we know that for cheerleading and a lot of other sports, the gateway to a PSO, Provincial Sporting Organization membership, has been with the club that an athlete is affiliated with. In the athlete-driven process, it's generally an online process where an athlete or their parent directly registers with the PSO, establishing a relationship with them, agreeing to any required waivers. And in the demonstration we've prepared, it also issues a member number, which stays unique with that athlete for the duration of their involvement in the sport of cheerleading in Canada, and issues an automatic member card by email. Um, we also include in that process a club or school affiliation option, which allows clubs to still have an involvement in the process and see which of their athletes have completed the PSO or NSO membership registration process. Um, in this whole thing as well, it can tie in directly into event registration or club registration, confirming eligibility, and again, adding on extra waivers for clubs or events. It also acts as a bit of a gateway so that in order for an athlete to get into an event or a club, the administrator of that organization knows that that athlete has had to first complete the PSO membership already. So it reduces a lot of administrative burden of cross-referencing different lists and spreadsheets. As mentioned, it can help accommodate things like safe sport and other future requirements that are coming down the pipeline from on a national sporting requirement level. It also increases data integrity for all parties involved, as athletes or their parents are providing information online rather than coaches or clubs collecting paper forms and waivers. And those waivers, the way that they're stored and tracked and recorded in terms of dates, timestamps, versioning control, you name it. And it does increase efficiency by not having to chase people around for all those different pieces. So where that leaves us right now is this gold standard route where we're trying to get athletes and parents to directly register and pay fees online to reduce the administrative burden on club administrators and coaches. This brings us to a hybrid process where what we'll look at is route number 2 is where the athlete and parent still goes through that registration process, chooses to join a club or a school, but then the club or school gets invoiced by the PSO to pay by credit card or check at a later date. So it's a shift away from route 1 where the club was doing all the manual work on their own, and it's a step towards route 3 where the athlete or parent is directly responsible for their registration. So as mentioned, the athlete or parent can complete all the information in this hybrid process, and then the club, gym, or school can make the decision on their end if they want to give the parent the option to pay online in kind of the Route 3 pathway, or go to the Route 2 option where they are invoiced for those people later. This can be a good option for any clubs or schools who've already collected their annual fees, and those fees were meant to include PSO and NSO memberships. But if a club needs to at this point, there is still the option to do the manual entry of data into the system as is. There's also a new opportunity as well, which can be everything all in one for a club registration, which includes gym fees, annual fees, what have you, and membership fees for the PSO NSO in a single transaction process. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So now we'll walk through a couple quick registration demos showing an athlete-driven process for a few of the possible club integrations. In this case, I built a quick demo on our 2M site. As mentioned before, these will be on the cheerreg.com site going forward. This is based off of a loose membership process on the BC Cheerleading Association branding. So we'll start this process here. And because I'm already logged into the site, you'll see that I can actually pick from all these members who I've already registered. Say these were all my family members and I was a parent registering multiple people. So I'm going to register Sam here, who's on my account, 15 years old, and we're going to sign her up for a school membership. So you can enter addresses, all those sorts of things, and then pick an athlete category. So in this case, we're going to do a Scholastic membership, and here you'll see is the $3 PSO portion of her membership fees. And the basic simple affiliation option that say a school would pick is just to have their name listed as one of the member affiliation choices. So Argyle School, their administrator decided to use the simple option, just be a checkbox. If it's a lot of schools that are clubs, it's a searchable drop-down list. And here we get to start proceeding with the registration. Different questions are surfaced based on what category this person is registering for. In this case, it was school, so we ask for Scholastic info. Then we have all the Cheer Canada reporting requirements, which the athlete or their parent get to enter on their own directly, and that'll be sent to the PSO. And then we get to proceed to the cart. So here, BC Cheerleading is asking for a waiver, and in this case, Sam is a minor, so we are surfaced the minor agreement asking for the parent or legal guardian. In this case, I will be Sam's legal guardian, confirm what my relationship is, and then proceed to the waiver. So a youth-specific release or agreement is surfaced that I, as the guardian, can confirm and agree to. And then here we get to the cart. There's a Cheerleading Canada membership fee for Sam, as well as the Cheer BC membership fees, so the $5 and the $3 respectively, as well as the affiliation with the school gym. In the background, all these fees are separated out by organization, so Cheer Canada is automatically paid their amount and BC Cheerleading is paid theirs. In this case, just to complete the registration, we're going to put in some coupon codes. And complete this transaction. So that was the simple registration process. I'm going to show the slightly more advanced one, which is where an athlete lands, instead of on a PSO branded registration page like this, on a gym or club or school branded registration page, and they can pick their own teams. So this is helpful for clubs that want to manage their team information on the CheerReg platform. So we'll start the registration process here. And we don't need to do Sam's, we've already registered her. And here we'll pick, we'll register myself for this one here. Again, my information is pre-populated, and you'll see here the list of categories and teams which I'm eligible to sign up for. So for this sample, I put together a Prep 1 team, which I didn't set any age restrictions on, but if you see here, when I click show all categories, I created a specific category for athletes 9 and under, which I am not eligible for based on my age. If a club would prefer to just let people sign up and register, we can set an unlimited category where the club will assign me later, instead of forcing the athlete to pick one specific club or a team. But if you did want to set that, we can also set capacity limits, age restrictions, all sorts of things. But for this example, we'll say that I, as the administrator, can champ All-Star Gym, want my athletes just to sign up, and then I will assign them later. But you'll see here, in order to get into the gym, I need to get a CheerBC 2019 membership. So that kicks off that same BC cheerleading process we saw before. It pre-populates my info because I'm already in the club registration process, and then highlights the categories which are eligible for me to register for the gym. In this case, I need to sign up for my All-Star membership. It'll auto-affiliate with the gym that I'm registering for, and we're going to pay our fees. Different questions are asked based on the fact that we're now an all-star athlete. And then those standard Cheer Canada reporting questions. And then we can complete our registration for the gym. The gym can then ask for a whole swag of other questions and membership surveys if they need it. In this case, we'll say that I was a previous member, and I can now proceed to the cart. So the gym has their own waiver. So this allows the gym to capture their information from me, an agreement from me, and again, timestamp it. Then BC Cheerleading has their own waiver. So I can also agree to that. Again, these waivers are set on the organization level. So if your PSO does not have a waiver, this page wouldn't be shown. And here we get to the process that at the end of it, we can again see that Cheerleading Canada membership and BC Cheerleading membership with those fees separated out to those organizations, as well as the gym that I'm signing up for. And we'll apply those coupon codes again to get through our registration. and complete that process. So similar experience from the user, except that they see a All-Star Gyms page as opposed to the standard PSO page. But as an administrator, we now see a couple things. So first of all, I'm going to show you what that high school page looked like, where there was no choice of teams and we just registered. So I get to go to my affiliation page, and here you'll see that all the athletes that signed up, including Sam Jones, who just affiliated with us, are listed on my team. I can also search by name, so a lot of my tests were all under my name, but I can see all the Skinners in there, member numbers, which we'll be assigning Cheer Canada member numbers to everybody, as well as status issued or expired memberships. So that's the option if you do the basic choice. If you do the more advanced choice like Champion Cheer did, we can now see um, some more registration categories and a dashboard of everybody who's registered with them, where we have a few more. And let's manage our registrations. So in this case, Tom just signed up, first person to register, and here's Tom's details. I, as a club administrator, see that Tom picked the I'll assign my team later, or my club will assign my team later. So I've created all these different categories. So let's say I try to put him in the level 2 junior team. It makes a note. I wouldn't normally be eligible for this category based on my age. So this was a junior age category that Tom is not eligible for. I can still add somebody to a team as an administrator if I need to, but I would ideally be putting Tom on the level 4 open team where I don't have any other members. There's 24 people available, and we can update it. Now Tom is on that team. And if I go back to this page, refresh it, I can see that Tom's registration is complete. I can look at different reports to see my breakdown of categories. Right now we just have that one member on the level 4 team. And then I can go through and I can change those details for anybody who registered with my club. So let's do one more process, which is going to be a fully integrated process here. So in this one, that was a free registration for the CanChamp All-Star Gym. I'm going to show you what it looks like if I create a new person and register for a paid category if I were a CanStar Gym and collecting all my membership fees at once. So here, we're going to register my wife. And she's going to choose her season registration with CanChamp. And that's going to, again, kick off that Cheer BC membership process. We'll enter her reporting details, get her through her registration process, and proceed to the cart. So here, I'm going to show you another feature on the waiver side of things. I'm actually not Sarah, and I can't agree to a waiver on her behalf. So the system checks, am I her? The answer is no. But I can send an email to the email I entered. I just put in mine for now so that I don't spam Sarah. But she will receive an email which says, do you want to agree? Tom has registered you on behalf of this gym. And I can still go through and purchase the registration, but everything is set in a pending status until Sarah completes her waiver at a later date. So that's a third-party waiver, and it's a pretty useful feature if you're a team coach registering some athletes for an event and you want to collect their waivers online. The system can automatically send their parents the notification that a waiver is outstanding and they need to complete it. So now that we get to the transaction screen here, for a club, in this case CanChamp, who's set up a fully integrated system, I'm paying as the purchaser my Cheer Canada fees my BC cheerleading fees, and my gym fees all in one transaction. I get one bill on my credit card, and in the background, Cheer Canada gets their money and their reporting info, BC Cheerleading gets their info and their money, and I, as the club administrator, get my money and my reports all separately there. So I'll show one final process. So I'm just going to delete all these from my cart here. The final option is the hybrid registration choice. So let's say you're a club who has already collected all the fees from your athletes for the year, and those club fees were meant to include the PSO and NSO registration fees. So we're going to register Adam here. We're going to sign him up for a Scholastic membership, and Adam is part of Freeze Athletics. Freeze Athletics has decided that because Adam already paid his fees early in the year, they're going to allow me as the purchaser to put Adam's fees on their account. So we have this option enabled for my club, my membership fees are paid by my club fees and paid by Freeze directly. As the administrator from Freeze, I put in a password just so that not everybody can take advantage of this. Again, Adam, or in this case, we'll say Adam's parents, answer all those same reporting requirements. And once Adam's parents have completed this info and agree to the waivers if necessary, they'll get to the cart here and same screen, same dollar figures, but you'll see here that Freeze Athletics is being charged for those membership fees. So I, as Adam's parent, get to go through, complete the registration, provide all the information, but I already paid Freeze Athletics my membership fees, so they're going to pay it on my behalf. From the club administrator standpoint, if I were with Freeze Athletics, I would have this screen available where it's called a payment group. I can edit my billing details, my billing address. I can authorize more people to add onto my account. If I want to enable more people to change that, I can also add a security question or change it. And then I can also download my invoice. And you'll see here that I've run a bunch of test registrations where I've purchased memberships from multiple people, and you can see the PSO portion of the membership fees as well as the NSO portion of the membership fees. If I were to go to the screen as the club administrator, I can pay with my credit card online. If you are a club who would prefer to pay by check and your PSO allows it, you could download that invoice, send it with a check, and then the PSO can control an offline payment. You can also see a list of everybody who's on your account, as well as remove those people from your account if necessary. And that's how our payment group sort of invoice me later option works. And again, that's a good hybrid solution for clubs that want to allow registrants to enter all their information online, but still want to pay the fees on behalf of their registrants. So a quick summary of our club integration options there. We can look at a fairly simple club integration where everybody goes through a PSO registration page and chooses their club as an affiliation choice. The admin from the club has access to the list of affiliates and can see which athletes have completed the registration process. The other option is, as I said, the team list and management, where the club has team listings shown either publicly or hidden in the background for registration. A registrant goes through to a club-specific registration page, signs up for the club, picks their team if you want to give them that choice, and then the administrator from that club can go through and adjust teams and transfer athletes between different categories if needed. Or there's the complete option, which looks very similar to that team list and management page, but a club can collect their fees for their registration categories directly online and collect the fees in the same process for the PSO and NSO, but those fees can be automatically in the background pushed out to the Cheerleading Canada as well as the Provincial Association. In this case, where it's a complete integration process, the club gets their fees remitted to them every 2 weeks, and all the payments are automatically split in the background. Everybody gets all the correct information. All the reporting is automatic, so there's no extra steps needed from the club administrator once they set up that complete integration process. So again, that would look like each club having a landing page like this, which requires some logos and content from the clubs. Different categories, again, that option to pick their team later and just sign up for the club, or you can surface options of specific teams. In both cases, we could require that Cheer BC PSO membership so that you know when someone's registered for your team, they have completed all the PSO requirements. The results of this is one streamlined experience for everybody, a single transaction flow, and a nice, easy place for parents or athletes to manage their information. Club and school administrators have a very feature-rich platform available to them with simple membership verification options to confirm that all their members have completed all the necessary PSO or NSO requirements. If you do host your registration process and collect your fees online on CheerEdge, we can integrate that membership sale purchase as you saw. And then the waiver functionality greatly helps reduce liability risks, as well as the fact that you've confirmed that anybody who gets into your club through this online process has also completed their PSO or NSO membership process. And then on the PSO Provincial Association standpoint, greatly reduces the administrative time, simplifies reporting, and gives you the online management tools to keep everything in one standard data format. So the platform CheerEdge is based off of the same code base as all of our other sites, including CCN, which is shown over here. You have a full dashboard for your clubs if you choose to go through a full integrated option, where you can break down where people are coming from, when they're registering, what categories they're in. It can be fully branded by your club or event. And tons of extra features become available when you start looking at hosting your registration on CheerEdge. If you want to do that now or in future years, plenty of options, but please feel free to reach out to our team if that's of interest to you. We'll be following this up with a form where you can answer your basic information to get your affiliation listed, as well as the choices if you want to be invoiced later, or if you want to look at full integration options where you're hosting the whole membership registration process on CheerEdge. We're excited to launch this new project with Cheerleading Canada and look forward to having you join us along the way.